A man has been arrested and questioned in Suffolk over the murder of a policeman during a riot in London 25 years ago. PC Keith Blakelock was hacked to death during the Broadwater Farm riots in 1985. The Metropolitan Police say a 40-year-old Suffolk man, who originally comes from Tottenham, was detained on Friday and questioned at Bury St Edmunds over the weekend. He's now been released on police bail.
The drugs giant GlaxoSmithKline has confirmed it's to cut up to 380 jobs at its research and development site at Harlow in Essex. The company reported a 12% rise in annual profits last week, but said it was seeking to cut up costs. Up to a third of the staff could go at Harlow, where 1,100 people currently work. A 90-day consultation started with employees.
Meanwhile, Vauxhall is to shed 154 jobs in Luton on top of cuts that have already been announced. The cutbacks in administrative roles will take the overall number of job losses at the van plant to 369, following the decision last year not to go ahead with a takeover. Vauxhall has committed itself to continuing production in Luton until 2013 while looking for new business opportunities. It's great to have you with us this evening. Stay with us for lots more on the programme.
Yeah, we're going to have all the news and sport from where you live.
More news now from where you live. An Essex County Council has appointed a new leader after the resignation of Conservative peer Lord Hanningfield on Friday. Peter Martin said he was deeply honoured to take the role. First on the agenda will be overseeing £300 million of spending cuts. Lord Hanningfield stepped down and was suspended from the Parliamentary Conservative Party at the end of last week after being charged with false accounting over his expenses claims. He denies the charges and says he'll vigorously defend himself.
The A47 east of Norwich was closed for an hour this morning after a fire at a thatched barn at North Birmingham. Fire crews using breathing apparatus put the fire out within an hour of arriving at 11 o'clock this morning. No one was injured.
A £1,000 reward is being offered to find a man suspected of stealing cables, which caused widespread disruption for rail commuters before Christmas. Many services were cancelled between Norwich and London after thefts at Boreham near Chelmsford. Police are keen to speak to 42-year-old Simon Paul Scott after he failed to answer bail following his arrest.
The RSPCA has issued a warning after at least 2 cats died in Norfolk from drinking antifreeze.
The animal charity doesn't know if it was done on purpose, but now they're reminding all of us to avoid leaving antifreeze where animals could get it. Rhiannon Mills reports.
In the wrong hands, it can potentially be fatal. A concoction that you'll find in any household garage. In Harlow, near Diss, it's now being blamed for 6 mysterious deaths.
I knew there wasn't something quite right. As they were sick on the kitchen floor.
One of the victims was one of James Blake's closest pals, his cat, Finlay.
He was sick and he wasn't walking properly. He had a blood test and it went from there, and it was so serious that he had to stay in overnight on a drip, and he didn't make it, unfortunately.
A post-mortem was carried out into Finlay's death and found that this was to blame antifreeze. Of course, lots of us are using it to top up our cars at this time of year, but the RSPCA say we're often not getting rid of any leftovers in the right way, often pouring it down drains or gutters, where it's proving to be too much of a temptation for cats. Apparently, to cats, it tastes sweet, but just a tiny amount can prove fatal. Where James lives, 4 others have died suddenly. Finlay is the second of his cats to die like this. He lost another one just last year.
I never heard of the fact that people drain radiators from a car over winter and leave it out beside their back door, beside the garage. For cats to drink, I haven't heard of that before. I don't know how much Finlay our cat had, but it was a matter than 24 hours. He was dead.
The RSPCA aren't sure if the cat's been poisoned on purpose or if it's an innocent mistake. But it is a reminder to us all to get rid of your antifreeze in the right way if you don't want to end up a potential pet poisoner. Rhiannon Mills, Anglia News at Harlow in Norfolk.
Now, rail passengers on the Norwich to London line will soon have access to onboard Wi-Fi. First-class passengers will be able to access the internet for free. Other passengers will have to pay a small fee. The cost, more than £500,000, is being partly funded by the East of England Development Agency and Norfolk and Suffolk County Councils. It should be up and running by the end of the year, bringing the service in line with other intercity routes across the UK.
we've had a lot of feedback from business people in the community and, say, Chambers of Commerce that Wi-Fi will be important for customers on their journey between Norwich and London. And so we think this will make a real change for people.
Plans to turn a disused gas field off the Norfolk coast into an offshore storage facility have been submitted by council planners. If they get the go-ahead, natural gas will be pumped from the Bacton terminal into the now empty Baird field during periods of low demand. When demand increases, it'll be pumped back again and distributed to homes and businesses through the national gas grid. Well, some sport now, and a night to forget for Southend supporters with their team losing at bitter rivals Colchester United.
Well, not only that, but Southend conceded the sort of goal you're likely to see on a comedy video. Donovan Blake rounds up all of the action and the funny bits as well.
Essex rivals letting off steam on a bitterly cold night. Both sets of fans claim
there's only one team in Essex!
and bragging rights belong to Colchester after their win at Vauxhall on Boxing Day. Southend does have a beach, but their players didn't expect to be playing on a pitch which resembled one. Colchester aren't exactly happy with the playing surface either. Mind you, their supporters weren't disappointed when Southend skipper Adam Barrett lost his footing and failed to stop Anthony Wordsworth's weak shot crawling over the line.
Should defend that a little bit better, to be honest, and you know, it's such a soft goal, and after however long it was, but it was very early.
It's pleasing for us, it's a good early one to get, but it's a little bit unfortunate for them, and you feel for the guys, but it goes your way, you've got to accept it and take it on.
The pitch may have played a part in the U's opener, but not their second. Poor defended by the Shrimpers, leading to Wordsworth's second on the night. Assistant manager John Ward was in charge of Colchester, with Adi Boothroyd absent because of a family illness.
At about 5:30 I got a phone call saying he was unable to come in and he had to go back to the Midlands where he lives and deal with that. So we respect that. I've left him alone, he's left us alone. We told the players at 6:15 and as I say, their attitude towards everything has been spot on.
So Colchester taking the football honours, and U's mascot Eddie the Eagle looked to be heading for a derby double in the half-time mascots race, especially with one of his rivals taking a tumble. But Sammy the Shrimp made sure Southend fans had something to smile about on the night. Donovan Blake, Anglia News, Colchester.
They'd have needed the magic sponge for that one, wouldn't they?
I'm not sure about smiling, that looks very painful.
Can't say they don't get value for money, though, when you go to those matches.
That's
fantastic
true.
Stuff.
Now tonight, it's all about the battle to stay in the Championship. Both our clubs are on the road. Peterborough visit Cardiff, while Ipswich are at